Hi, I'm Paul Roberts, and this is Conscious Counseling 101. And today we have a request that I'm really glad to work with this person on. And let me just read this short letter of what he asks for, and we'll go on with it. Hello, thanks for the offer. I guess I need some words of wisdom. I consider myself a really spiritual person, high integrity, etc. Yet there's such a toxicity in my life. For example, a lot of resentment towards my sister, who I've been living with because of the shelter-in-place orders. But even before that, anyway, it's complicated. And she and I are close, but we fight like the worst toxic kinds of fights. My default nature is kind and grounded, but she knows the words that press the buttons, a secret code to send me into rage. We both say unforgivable things. I always regret it, but it's always constant fighting. Moreover, I seem to attract this kind of toxicity. Happened with a friend recently. Just felt like boundaries were crossed, and then it's just fighting. With my sister, we really don't have space to distance. That's insane. How should I cope? This is an easy one. But how receptive will you be? I'm going to give you some ideas, and you have to consider them. And remember, I don't know that which I talk about. But if you consider these things and you implement them, even if I'm wrong, you'll gain what you're trying to gain. But it's up to you. So let me start. What is even causing this way of being? I'd like to submit to you that one of the biggest things that we have to all face, whether we're spiritual or not, is our volatility understanding of our life and our place. Our fundamental vulnerableness. We don't know who we are, what our purpose is. We don't know anything for sure, and we certainly don't know about the unseen, unphysical realm or the eternal ever after. And so because we don't know these things, tensions rise in our lives. Various people in the world try to tell us what they'd like you to think so that we'll be governed and find our path in certain ways that they might take you down. This is putting our faith in man. Now, you said when I asked you about your spirituality that you're an overall spiritual thing. So I'm going to talk about the various overall ways of looking at that. Because we believe, just got a few notes here, that there's possibly an unseen reward. These are all ideas, by the way. Maybe they're true, maybe they're not. Maybe they're governing guidelines that men and women that have come before us said we better do this because we can make a gain out of it, or if we don't, we'll have anarchy, or if we don't, if there is some master plan, we've got to help that master plan creator do it, because he can't do it on his own, because why would there be this chaos and stuff if he was in control? So it's kind of like humanism. So what people have done is they've reacted with tension over an unseen reward or torment in a possible unknown realm. That's a lot to deal with. And even if we suppress that tension and put our head in the ground like an ostrich, we still know it's there deep down inside. And it still governs us to a certain extent, even if we try to bury it, unless something else comes in and governs us. Now, this something else could be being born again if you're a believer in Jesus. Concern about karma, if you believe in those things. Having to relive your life over again, if you believe in reincarnation. Having a balance, like the yin-yang. Okay, these things are all part of the philosophies and the religions and the understandings of the general pool of ideas of mankind's overall philosophic ways of thinking about things. But we boil these down. The one that speaks most to me is Christianity, but not the conventional Christianity, but the Jesus teaching Christianity of him being the cornerstone and allowing for the context for us to see the entirety of the words that have been given to us and why he's important and why he takes us on from the Old Testament to the New Testament and into the world today, and to make sense of what's happening in our lives today. So what I would suggest that you do is realize and allow yourself to do one of the most important tools that I use here with Conscious Counseling. Besides the perspective shift of seeing the same thing, but changing the way we view it, the first thing that gives us the power to know that we can do anything at all is to know that we do not know. And that makes us feel like, oh my gosh, we're even more vulnerable now. No, because when we say we do not know, even though we admit our vulnerability, we are now not influenced by the natures of man or any other thing that appears to know and will try to offer us what they have that may or may not be misleading. But it's much harder to work out what other people are coming from and how they got lost and whether that's founded in truth and validity than it is to go and do your own research and find out what truth and validity is, because at least when you start to do that, you can know how honest you were with yourself, how on or off you were with yourself at any step. And if you retrace how you learned things or how you taught yourself things, you'll always know, because you'll have the whole record of your life there to figure out what you might have tripped on. You'll always be able to do the analysis. And because of that, you'll always be able to change your perspective and relearn and never see things in a way that you're stuck ever again. Right now, you're stuck. The reason why you're stuck is because, well, I don't know everything about you. I only know the little bit of input. But I'm going to tell you why I think you're stuck. I think you're stuck because you have not made a commitment to believe in something larger than yourself as much as you think you're spiritual. Because you're still letting the earthly things and the ways that are beyond your comprehension weight you down and control you and pattern your behavior. To break through this is what you need to do. You can only rise insofar as your commitment or your belief in something that can't be known or seen, but is infinite, will allow you to, while walking away from what's right in front of you and what you think you know from whatever source, nature or nurture, or any other source, lays right in front of you in the limited physical realm. You must believe more in the infinite possibility and walk away from your troubled world of the finite possibility that you're living. So no matter, that's my email sound. So no matter what you're currently doing that's causing you to trip, and I'm sure the instigation, like you say, is part of it, you can take that instigation away. You can take that away. The power is in your hands to not be instigated. And as soon as you are a master of that, the instigation won't even be used anymore, because the other entity will wonder what's going on. Things will have changed in their world because you've changed first. And the reason why you've changed is because you took a leap of faith that there was more in the eternal, infinite, than the problems that are plaguing you that you can't get past, that you're stuck on in the finite, present, physical realm. If you can make that adjustment to where you have enough belief in it, that you believe more positivity will come in believing in something larger than the negatives that you're allowing yourself to perpetuate in believing what you do believe, you'll start to affect, by that perspective shift, all the people in your life and how you relate to them and who you become, and in turn, how they relate to you and who they may become. This is what needs to be done. As they say in Ridgemont High, when they come in with the shirts and they take them off. Hey, you had shirts when you came in here. Something happened to him, man. See that sign?
It's 10 o'clock.
No shirts, no shoes, no dice. Learn it, live it, know it. I might have gotten the quote wrong, but you get the idea. I've already offered you everything you need right here in this small snippet. Everything. You can listen to this again and again. I could elaborate and go on and ramble forever. I could get involved with you in personal small little details that you'd like me to elaborate on, and I'll be happy to if it will really help you. But I've given you, and I do try to with every single video that I do, give everything that's needed to be known to overcome. And yours, even though it haunts you and plagues you, I don't want to say it's textbook, but it's in my textbook, Conscious Counseling 101. And I've given you the answer to it. If you don't understand, or you don't know how to implement, or you don't have the strength, or the fortitude, or the wherewithal, I'll be here to try to hold your hand. But the answer won't be different than this. And remember, I don't know it. But not knowing it gives you the power, because no one else has the power over you, because they don't know either. And that's the one thing you've learned and gained. And you can stand on that. Now, do you have the confidence to take the leap of faith that the infinite eternal holds more promise than the finite, troublesome physical realm? Answer that question with affirmativeness. You'll be born again. You'll be doing the right karma. You'll be stopping your life here and not having to repeat it. All the things that a creator or man's relation to a creator can show you to think about will be in your hands. But then the question is, do or do not. There is no try. I'm Paul Roberts, and this is Conscious Counseling 101.